prepare us, whatever's going on. Okay, so boom,
Yeah,
we're on.
it's a
Huh?
little intense. Something's happening.
I know, I
Something's
know,
happening.
I know, I know.
Whoa,
So, all right,
whoa.
you want me to go ahead and play the song, or you want to?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wasn't expecting this.
I know. Okay, so let me.
Whoa.
I'm trying to maintain myself here. Let's see. Okay,
Okay.
boom, boom. It feels very like a collective group or something. I don't
Ooh.
really like some type of activation of the circuitry on the grid. Did I already click live? I can't remember. Okay, here we go. Okay,
Wow.
boom, boom. We'll be back in 4 minutes and 19 seconds for those of you who are watching. Boom. Whew.
she takes a picture, and in that picture is this.
Okay. Hang on a second. Let me get this thing off. Whew. You know, Shekina, can you hear me?
Yes, Todd.
I don't know what's going on, but I felt it. I was telling you, I felt it like 20 minutes before, and then you started telling me you were getting it, and then I was just reading in the comments because I was tagging you. Like my heart's beating really fast. Bella Improviso, Bella Improviso, a friend of ours. She put something big, all capital letters, something big. I feel it. Now this is on the comments. I was called here from somewhere completely different, not knowing why. Blessings, Todd, Shekina, etc. So I'm not really clear what's going on. But how are you doing? We'll talk about it.
Okay.
And it, to me, okay, I'll just tell you what I got. All right. That's why I said I did.
Okay.
So last night, for some reason, I don't, and I haven't done this in a long time, and it wasn't really like something I tried to do, but I had been talking to Morgan, and then I was going to try to go to bed, and then, well, I don't know. I guess Mother Mary appeared, or she was there, and it didn't feel like I called her. And so it was this thing about, well, I don't know how to explain it, but so in that moment, I just, as if she was right there, which she was, I just kind of like, you know, in my mind, not physically, just kind of like got on my knees and in reverence, basically. And then in that moment, I had this whole alignment of that's the Mother Goddess, that's Mother Mary, that's Morgan Lee, that's basically, you know, like a combination of the Mother Goddess, Divine Feminine. That's the best I can do with it. So, and then about 23 minutes before, you know, after I said I was going to send you the Zoom link, or right before, all of a sudden I felt this something enter my body, and then I started sweating, and I sent Morgan a note as I was getting it, and then I had like this, not pain, but this, I don't know what it is, but like at the base of my neck, where the maybe the last first couple of vertebrae, and I was like, okay, this feels foreign. I wasn't scared. I just went into acceptance. And then I was reading it at the same time, and I saw like this triangle of on the grid, on the new grid, of like Sedona, where I'm at, and where Morgan's at. And I saw that each point, which I guess would be represented by the three of us, had energies attached to them that were participating in this experience as well. So nothing negative at all when I say attached, just like, and it looked like a circuit was being started on this new grid from this experience. So that, I don't know, I just, when these things come in, I just feel like that's important to you know, to express them, because maybe somebody's got something else to add. You know.
Absolutely. I wasn't actually expecting this to all occur. I was feeling the energies like continuous. After you said that, then now this whole time I've been feeling these waves of energies, and it's continuing to happen. I happen to have, you know, Sedona behind me. That picture of a cathedral that I go to all the time is right. I'm looking right at it. I have, I don't know if you can see this. I had to grab this.
What is that?
This is a Sedona crystal.
Really?
This is a Sedona crystal. When the crystal started to manifest to me and sing to me, this is one of them, and this is a crystal tower. and it has, and so you can see like the hand, it's from the hand of God technology as well, but it's, the red rock, on this. I had them right here. And I had to pull it. I had to hold it because it's like this waves, like waves and waves and waves of energy, this empowerment.
Yeah.
Now you know that, I mean, we didn't all know what was going to happen, but we're in a really powerful, yesterday was the full moon. And so
That's
we're
right.
in that full moon energy. It's a Cancer moon. And yesterday was really powerful, honoring his day. Huge deal. There was the honoring the Festival of Trees yesterday. There were such powerful, significant energies yesterday. Solaris, the sun, came in as I was working and I was meditating. So big, so powerful. So I feel it's just like a continuation, of
Yeah.
this expansion and our connection. And I've never had Sedona behind me, Todd. When
Well,
this is the first time.
the other interesting thing is, and now it's kind of making sense, is like over the last 3 or 4 days or 5 days, I don't even know, but Sedona's just come in and come in and come in. And I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if I'm supposed to go to Sedona, or, I've been working with Ty a little bit, who's there, in Sedona, on some creative, ideas. And, but I don't know, but it feels, and then of course, I can't think of Sedona without Anubis, because Anubis is always showing up when I'm over there. But yeah, something's going on. And yesterday was
Still
like,
coming in.
I was feeling a little bit, yeah, I think it's going to continue to, but
it hasn't stopped since we started.
yeah. So do you want to tune into it? What do you want to do with this? It's a new
Yeah.
to me, I don't know. Go ahead. I've already said what I was getting. Do you have anything you want to?
I need a few moments because
Yeah, that's fine.
can you
Yeah, go ahead, do what you got
can
to
you
do.
just give me a few moments?
Yeah.
Because I'm shivering. I'm
I know.
getting so cold. Just give me just a few,
Yeah.
a moment. Just a
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
Enjoy
ahead.
Sedona.
So that's what was happening to me. I was sending Morgan a note, everybody, just as this was all happening. So, I only know to, like when these things come in, you just share them because, there's usually some type of synchronicity. But yeah, I just saw this like really long triangle, if you can imagine, Sedona to Arkansas and then down to where Morgan is. And then the other thing I got too was that that triad was, was with the long side up, which is the feminine. That's another thing I got
Okay.
from it.
Still hasn't stopped. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. I was telling them that I was sending Morgan a message and saying my whole body's shaking. This was all right before this all happened. So I think this is some type of activation of circuitry coming together, convergence of these 3 points for, some reason, and all the energies that are souls that are attached to the 3 different points for, I don't know, that's the best I can do, but yeah, that's what it feels like. And I forgot too that it was full moon, because I was talking to Morgan last night and I was getting a little bit, after some good days, I was like, we better get this on, or I'm going to go do this on another planet. I'm tired of waiting. But I started to get kind of, grumpy. And she said, the full moon just occurred. It had only been like 2 or 3 hours, 5 hours or something. And I said, oh, okay. She goes, the best thing you can do is maybe just go to bed, which is what I did. And then that happened, what I said earlier. And then you show up with Sedona in the background, Cathedral Rock. So yeah, here we go. Yeah. How you been?
Well,
What's how's the price
I
of
mean,
tea in Sedona? Huh?
yeah, my nose started running. I
Hmm.
started getting so cold. I had to grab something on my legs. My nose started running. My nose doesn't run. I mean, I haven't had any issues at all with anything, right?
Hmm.
And so I had to go get this. I had to my nose, and I've been I've been I've been great. I just want to say too that I started noticing this sensitivity yesterday as well. Like there's like the sensitivity. It's almost like tenderness too, and a sensitivity, and like a realness. And yesterday I caught myself, when I catch myself, but how I was so I was so much more open. I was so much more just connected with what was happening, and um so in my heart spirit of Martin Luther King. I was and it's so easy right now. It just kind of like started yesterday to be so sensitive to my spirit, and so to be so teary-eyed. Martin Luther King just has touched me so much. Um so his whole day, the festival's trees, but I noticed yesterday like more of a sensitivity and like a tenderness and a connection
Yeah.
connection to where who you're with, what's happening, and like an expansion. I mean, being a sensitive empath, I'm always kind of like that, but
Hmm.
like an expansion of that sensitivity, that sensory empathic awareness, that is, what I want to say. I would like soul, like more of my, like more soul. um
Yeah.
so but I wasn't expecting this, Todd.
Well, every time we get together, pretty much something happens, I mean, we're brother
Wow.
sister. We're brother sister at the soul level. And
Yeah.
it's always been that way since, the first show we did was 3.5 years ago. I was in New Jersey first time. And Mother Mary came in and you were in blue. you know. Uh
Okay.
but yeah, what you're talking about. And so I've noticed too, like in the last 2 or 3 days, the synchronicities of numbers and timing, and Morgan and I doing the same thing at the same time, or Morgan and our friend we're both doing something at the same time. I mean, all these things like happening. And so a friend of mine who I don't really hear from sent me a text today, and I lost in my phone. I had to get a new phone a few months ago, and so I don't have too many numbers in there. I got like 10 numbers, and so anyway, my friend somehow had my number. I don't even know how, and sent me this really nice piece on Martin Luther King. And growing up, I've always been a history buff, and but growing up, and since I was probably started reading that more avidly, like in my early 20s. Martin Luther King's always been my favorite American. Not that I'm attached to labels of country or anything, but
Yeah.
just I've always, yeah. So that you mentioned that, and I forgot yesterday was his birthday too, right? I mean, that was his holiday, right?
Yeah, it was this holiday, and something happened. So I have a near death experience. I go to a near death experience heavens group. I've been going for a little while. And it's just a few women and this one woman is pretty extraordinary, and she spent 5 days in heaven. And I don't know how she knows that. But I've gotten a lot of connections to certain information, and this woman, she shared with me. Now, I've been able to go to heaven because of her, because
Mm,
I didn't go to heaven when I had my near death experience. I always go to the light, but I was able to experience heaven, and which has been really wonderful. But she shared with me, she got a lot of information when she was in heaven. And one of the things that she said to me, this was a year ago, and it just touched me so. She said that this is what she said that heaven said that Martin Luther King was the second coming of Christ. And when I heard that, like a year ago, it just touched me so much that it's like it happened again, like this being who was bringing, I mean, what Martin Luther King did was incredible. And what he stood for, and how he was like Gandhi. He was like nonviolent. He was always nonviolent, and there was so much violence towards him, and what he was able to accomplish. And then, of course, and I think he was only in his early 30s.
37 when he died.
And then they killed him.
Yeah, 37 years old.
So it's giving me such more of an honoring, and also an honor of like who we are.
Yeah.
And the template, like the template that he brought in, like we all have that template.
Yes.
Like whatever one human does, we all can do. We have that template. We have that strength. We have that ability. So
yeah,
that really touched me. And
so as you were saying that before you were, went on further, I was just picturing. Hey, let me digress. So,
okay.
Obviously Morgan's in Australia, and everyone knows what's going on in Australia. And we were talking last night about another announcement that the government made, and I was like, when are people? I mean, what's it going to take? What has to be done? Marching, but what's coming from the marching? So I was in that kind of stream of thought, and so as you were talking, I'm just picturing, because I've read probably 5 books on him, and then of course watch videos or whatever. But standing on that bridge in Montgomery, Alabama, and all of the marchers, all the freedom marchers were on one side of the bridge, and on the other side were all the police with their dogs. And I'm sitting there going, as you're talking about, we all have that template, that they walked across that bridge, knew that they were going to get beaten and bitten and go to jail. And I'm thinking, would we do that? But I'm also understanding too that, like what your friend got, which I look at kind of metaphorically, it's an energy that he brought that was a remix of, let's just say, the Christ energy or the Jesus energy. In other words, it was that template plus all the experience of incarnations up to his birth, let's just say, and then he came out and took it further. And I'm sitting here thinking about it, thinking, would we get on a bridge and march toward a line of enforcers with weapons and dogs and whatever? Would we do that? And then what comes in is we don't have to do that. We can we're taking his template that was taken from all the templates from before, such as a Jesus and Magdalene and so on. And now we're taking all of our combined experience with that template. And one of the things I think that we all bring to the table now, because of all the work we've done, and then of course of the collective mixing and merging of all these things, is we now have access to our brothers and sisters experience, is that we do a lot of work in the energetic field and align our thoughts, words, and actions with it. So, I have a feeling that we're coming to a point where we're going to be in a similar situation, but because of our energetic connection and abilities individually and as a group, we don't have to go through the pain, or the earth doesn't have to go through the pain, or humanity doesn't have to go through the pain. We can transform with this combination of non-physical and physical. Like people have said, we have been prophesized to enter a time when instead of one MLK or one Gandhi or one Jesus or one Magdalene or one Joan of Arc walk in the face of the earth, there's going to be millions. you know,
Yes.
so it's still there. Yeah.
You, oh, you,
Are you disappearing? Is she disappearing? Is that on my?
okay. Okay. You're back. I heard you, and
Mm.
I feel that's, beautifully put. I feel that's just where we're at, and what you were saying when you were saying, would we be willing to do and go across the bridge knowing that, well, we we're already doing what we're supposed to be doing.
True.
And it's taken a lot of courage and a tenacity and strength, and know, that soul spirit tuning in what is, knowing that is right and true for who you are. Look at your path, all of our paths. It's like we're that's that walk that we're doing all the time.
Mm.
We're standing up and being who we are, and the resonancy. And I'm working on the information for the Blu-rays, assisting the Blu-rays. And as I'm bringing forth this writing, for the testament for the Blu-rays, to have that upon the planet, I want that testament of that who these Blu-rays are. I realize that what we've done, and that we've come in this wave, right? We've come in these these decades together, not as like one person, like you're saying. We already have that template. But that's why, like, we've come in waves. That's why the indigos came in, like, decades. We've come together because to strengthen those codes, to strengthen each other, no matter where we're at. And like what was happening, I believe, because as we were connecting, our energies we were connecting. I feel we have a greater resonancy and understanding and
Yeah.
ability and knowing, and it's almost turned on more greatly now, of that, because I feel like everything is about frequency and vibration and connection. I mean, our world is kind of like that. It's like, it's the internet. Are you connected? Are you not? Do you have the frequency? Do you have the connection? And we have that. We have that strength. We don't have to be in the same place, standing right next to each other, to have that power, to have that connection, to have that ability. And to have that strength of who we are and the power of who we are. And also, what you were saying too, is the earth. I'm also feeling a stronger resonancy with earth magic, Solaris, which I call the sun, that goes beyond any manipulation. We have that, we have that power, we have that connection, and we're using it now, and we will use it. And we are taking a stand. All of us are taking a stand.
True.
In the lives that we live, and what we watch, and what we pursue, and what we spend our money on, how we live our lives, what we say, and what we're not going to do. So there have been many that I don't want to get into certain, things, but some people have had to leave a state, move from a different state, or quit a job. We've had to quit jobs, because we've had to take a stance on our rights of what is right for our body and our being, and what we take in our body, because we have to have, like, for myself, without my connection to spirit, to source, it's just, it really, it's nothing. You know, my life is really nothing. My life is nothing without my continued connection to source and spirit, and how I feel in my in my soul, and what I have in that. But I feel like what you're saying is that we are, you know, as a Blu-ray, and as a Blu-ray and beyond, you know, we're such mergers. We can really merge, because we're water, we're flow. We can move and blend in how we need to move and blend in, and it's we have a way to really have that resonancy with each other. I think all star seeds do anyway.
Mhm.
You know, all of us have that ability to tune into each other, and to strengthen the grid with each other,
Mm.
and in the place that we're living in.
Yeah. Like this right now. Um,
It
yeah,
hasn't stopped.
I
It
know it
hasn't.
hasn't.
It,
No,
ha- it
I'm getting a little more used to it now. And the other thing, okay, there's two things. One is, like you were saying, people have had to leave where they lived, leave their jobs, probably even leave relationships.
Yeah.
I also know people, and this is going to be, I want to tie this back into some things that happened last night too when I lay down and connected. But we also have friends who, from their perspective, you know, their perception, which is their reality, which is just as real as ours, that have taken the jab and have been guided to down that road to do so. Not very many in percentage of, at least to my knowledge, not very many in percentage, and no judgment. I'm just making a point and tying
Right.
this back into something that happened last night too. So, you know, you talked about, and we know that we're energy beings, and we're transformers. And like you were
Yes.
saying, no matter what level of manipulation or intended interference, we've already risen above all this. And so, you know, we've risen above GMOs and 5G and chemtrails and fluoride. And now I know maybe, you know, if you take a snapshot, everybody might not be at the same level or whatever, but we're overcoming all of this stuff. And yes, there's still antagonist energy still coming towards us. But I guess what I was trying to say when I connected last night, another thing that happened was kind of like taking me back to, not that it hasn't happened since, but taking me back to Todd at 5 years old, you know, laying in his bed, connecting, and which we all did, and I know I did. It was more prayer oriented back then, but it's all the same thing. And in those moments, professing my love for everything and all things, no matter what, no matter who.
Yeah.
And that came in last night. Like I was going through this thing of, are you overly attached to anything? Boom, 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 which I've been through many times, and I'm sure many of us have. And then I got to this place that was, you know, nothing and everything at the same time, but things were shown to me that I needed to consider. And it wasn't a big deal. It was just like, oh, okay, you know, if you enter this space, you've got to accept this energy and you've got to accept that energy. It's all from the same thing, and have faith that what you know is real. So yeah, that's but I think also going back to what you were saying about, like, let's go back to the Martin Luther King thing with the bridge. You're right. Everybody's been on that bridge in this incarnation and not to mention others, but in this incarnation in particular, and you had it on a personal level,
Yeah.
I've had it on a personal level, everybody here, these dark nights of the soul that have visited us. And where if we look at our personal lives, like I know your story, my story, I know Morgan's story, and so on, how we chose this to embody the guidance that we were receiving, which includes our personal transformation, but more importantly, to your point, it also ignites what you call the what did you used to call that, the holy matrix,
The divine
holy
matrix.
matrix, which
Yeah.
some might call the new grid. But what happens is, this is the age of the Trinity. So as any of us remove and strip and shed and therefore expose and reveal more of our illumination, it has some type of simultaneous exchange or connection or reaction or whatever you want to call it with those like frequencies. And I think many times nobody's standing there, and then they turn on and everyone goes, oh, let's go there. I think it's almost like this moment today with all of our brothers and sisters, where they all actually get turned on at the same time and arrive at the same point. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, that was what I was getting from what you were saying.
Ooh, yeah, powerful. And and what we're and what we can perceive and what we know is also, our mission and our divinity and our path and our power. So if it's in our scope and our understanding, and we can perceive it, and it's also a part of what we're here to do. And I've seen I was seeing that as Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was born in a certain ray a color a way, so that he could experience certain things one-on-one, like he knew what it was like, and so that affected him, and so it was part of his mission because of the effects of his life, and he was put in that position. And so it becomes our mission. And a lot of things that we can perceive and know and we're attracted to is a part of our mission and what we're supposed to bring forth. The things that you can perceive, or the other people, because we're all perceiving, because I feel like we all are, we're all so important, right? And I feel like it's not just one person that is getting the information that's tribute and from our soul.
Mm-hmm.
and what we're here to bring forth, right? So the ET disclosure, the near-death experiences, the star seed information, the sacred divine feminine energy. I mean, the angels, working with the earth. There's so many aspects. Like, I feel like every single one we need, every single being who feels that, and what they get and what they're attracted to bring forth, they need to bring it forth fully on, because that's the lineage, that they came forth, and they came in to contribute, because we need that contribution. We need that frequency. We need that energy. We need that part, because I don't also believe that one thing's going to get it right. Like, one disclosure is going to somehow, if they have the disclosure about the ETs, or other people, these other beings that live amongst us, and we are a part of that, suddenly our world is just going to be full of peace. You know what I mean? I feel like it takes all of this, takes all of us combined collectively with what we're being drawn to do. and whatever that is that you got, that's your mission. I've been working, I have such extrasensory hearing and sound, and I always have. I've always had this ability to like have clear audience and to be able to hear. And so I've been able to hear like certain frequencies and certain vibrations and kind of determine where they're coming from. Oh, just because of the way that they make me feel. And, I've been hearing this vibration that started last year, this vibration that started, I used to hear it off and on in Sedona, like this vibrational frequency, right?
Mm.
Not those tones that you hear in your ears, like the higher tones when you're getting attuned, because I feel there's attunements happening a lot, and you'll hear like a tone that almost sounds like a tuning fork, and it's like in one ear or it's in the other ear. Sometimes it's every once in a while it'll be in both ears. And
Right.
I feel like that's you're getting like an attunement. You're working with your guide. You're aligning in the higher frequencies. Higher frequencies are coming in and they're available. Anyway, that's how I've been able to experience it, my life. And I'm starting to, attune to that. But I started hearing this other frequency last year, and it was like it turned on. And it hardly never stopped. And so, and it's not the greatest frequency. And so that has guided me though to work in the technologies and to work with the hand of God, sovereign technologies to, to assist so that we can stay in this, we can stay in our frequency, so that we can stay in our sovereignty. Because I feel it's so important that we claim and be our sovereign. Just so important.
Yeah, that's right. Because that applies here and on any timeline, in any dimension, and then what you said too, like what I was saying about everybody, it feels to me, I'm not saying this is the way it happens, but like in a moment like this, all of the people that create the vortex, which would be like people watching live, people on replay, but it's all the same time because there's no linear. They all come to this point at the same time. And each one of them has a soul signature. So how does that relate to what we're experiencing? This is what you're talking about. This is the gifts or the skills or the abilities and the lineage and so on, the sacred wisdom that each one receives and has and holds, and the importance of bringing it together in collaboration. And this brings me to something else. Morgan and I were talking to a very good friend of ours a couple of days ago, and we were just kind of talking about everything that the energies that we all just have kind of gone through leading up to this full moon. And she was saying that because we were talking about Soulogy a little bit, and kind of, it's gone, and I think a lot of people could relate to this. We've kind of gone, over the years from planning to do this and planning to do that to just basically operating on a present moment type of, you almost like, okay, metaphorically, you get up today, you don't really know what the plan is, and then it's presented to you in each step of the way. So it's this changing of the frequency field or the way we do things. But so Morgan was saying, and she's been saying this for a while, that collaboration is part of this unifying consciousness,
Yes.
this embodiment of oneness. That it's not a choice; it's inevitable through the individuality that you're talking about. The soul signatures in human form, but they all play as a symphony, and there's not one standing alone over here and one standing alone over there. And I think that's what you're talking about, or what you're feeling, is because of because of the the depth of what each of us have received, and the kind of jolt it gives to the human aspect, like, wow, I'm from here and I do this and I do that. And that's all true. But as the egoic consciousness kind of fades, then it becomes less of a singular kind of thing, and the collaboration starts to take hold. And I feel like that's what you're leading to, and that's what's occurring now, which she forecasted. And I feel like that we're going to see more and more and more collaboration, and
Absolutely.
the impact of that. Because I mean, think about the effect any of us, and I know it's hard for us to look at ourselves sometimes, but if we can embrace and accept our humility, and understand that we're not bragging, that each and every one of us in our own way has enhanced the experience for ourselves and others. What, just as an individual, what would 2 or 3 or 9 or 369 or 144,000 doing it at the same time, what would that do? And what does that do? Because it's already happening.
Absolutely. I mean, we're going into those, it's all supporting. I mean, planetary wise, the energies are supporting that, our connection, who we are. I mean, I'm a part of the whole, I'm a part of everything, and I'm a part of all of it. So we're activating each other. Like when we got on this call, this connection, I feel it started happening. It was beyond us. It was beyond our, before we even knew it, we didn't even know what was happening, but the connections were happening because they want to happen.
Right.
That's why we're here. We have to be with each other. We have to be on this earth, and the connections are happening. And no matter what, I mean, when I was, I remember when I would go out in the beginning after, when the CV first happened, and then the jabs started happening, and then people were able to go back out again. And I remember the first time that Tim and I were able to get out, to a restaurant again. And I would have all these, when I would go around all the people at a restaurant, I would have the symptoms. I would have all of these symptoms. I wouldn't maybe feel right. My arm would be sore. I would have a sore arm. And I was experiencing all of these things. And I was working with a practitioner at the time. I mean, I've never gotten sick or anything like that. And who's to say if you get sick or not? It doesn't, we're all being bombarded. We're being bombarded intensely with a lot, on a lot of levels. But I was picking up the other people's energy who had gotten the jab. And I think my own being was I was trying to assimilate it. I was trying to transform it, trying to transform and transcend the energies. And I also feel that because of all that foreign thing that's in that I think it's also making us go to another level. Like we're all naturally going to another level because we have to, because we're faced with something, because I feel that our humanity is being being faced with something, is being threatened. And when that happens, it's like your immune system. When something, a little infection comes in, your immune system kicks in. And I feel like we're also being kicked in, and we're being bumped up.
Yeah.
Because things are happening to our humanity, which is a part of us. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if we're getting that or we know someone that's getting that or not. It's a part of our humanity. It's a part of me as well. And it's affecting me. And it's also, I feel it's for us who are able to be conscious, it's bumping us up. It's making us go to another level. We're
Yes.
we're all forced, I think, to a certain degree to go to another level. And I feel it's all a part of the awakening. It's all a part of our higher connection. Everything that's taking place. And I think it's happening different. It's happening differently than what we thought, what I thought, or what I would have liked it to have been. I would like maybe a little bit more graceful,
Rainbows,
just
rainbow,
like, just
yeah.
one day you just, and I've had those moments too.
Yeah.
We've all had those moments too, where we're just, something happens and we become more enlightened.
Mhm.
We have a divine being. We have Mother Mary come
Mhm.
to us, or we have an ascended master come, or we have an angel deva embody you and changes you instantly.
Yeah. Yeah. God. Yeah. The fact that, because we get caught up in the literal, and rightfully so. I mean, this is all we thought, when we were less aware, we were more focused on our identification with the physical body and everything that goes with being, the human aspect. And as time's gone on, we're having those experiences that you're talking about to even, lesser, the same, and even more degrees of that fullness of what is oneness, of those experiences of nothing that's everything, and so on. And so there's something happening. And if we look at just the energetics alone, the path, in other words, it doesn't matter what the physical path was, because it's all ending up at the same place. And again, I wish Morgan was on here right now, because she'd been getting information about what seems to be two different paths in regard to the jab in particular, but that through both of these paths, what you're saying is happening. In other words, one path, it might evolve in a way that looks like it's because I'm not participating. The other path would look like what you're talking about, where something came in and it was transformed, and in the end you end up getting to the same place. Of course, we're still in the middle of this, but there's something. You said it earlier too, like the way you said it a few minutes ago was, it's not that we're impervious or impenetrable. We are, but to different degrees. But even if something enters, then it's still going to be transformed. Now, obviously, some people might transition physically, and again, it's still the same thing. You know what I mean? But
yes.
But so it's to me, it's like, okay, like even what happened to me 25 minutes before this show started, it didn't feel like rainbows and unicorns. It came in, it literally came in like a wave, and I could feel the density from my crown down increasing. That's what it felt like. And then, of course, the thing with the neck, and then the heart palpitate, so, and the sweating. So instead of freaking out, like I may have, maybe I wouldn't have freaked out, but oh, well, what's this? I need to protect myself. Or I just knew in that moment to stay with it. Very much like a Sedona energy for me anyway. I know you've been there a long time. I've been there 7 times. And sometimes Mother Sedona, Father Sedona, Sedona comes in, and it's in the moment, in that brief moment, it doesn't feel like rainbows and unicorns.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yep.
feel like the darkest of the dark either. It's just this really powerful, kind of let's face, let's look in the mirror, or whatever the issue is, or the lesson, or whatever. And it's very intense. But when you come out the other side, it's an immediate understanding, and you can, it's powerful. And that's what I feel like occurred today, as
Mhm.
and what you're talking about on a more comprehensive level. It just feels, and it feels like, it's like, it, and like so many of the things that have been happening over the last, especially over the last 2 years, like this knowing comes in, but it's very subtle. And we've spent years going, did I just experience that? Like,
Yeah.
am I crazy? Or, we've all had those moments. I was having the moment last night when I told Morgan, look, let's get the show on the road, or let's go do it on another planet. Now that's obviously, I was imbalanced, but the point is, it's been gradual. It's gained a lot of momentum. It's like a big snowball rolling down the hill. And as the days go by, and it's only the 18th, 19th of January. Look how far we've come just in 19 days. I mean, I don't know about you, but these first 19 days,
Wow.
they have been. And so what's going to be like in 19 more days? And what about spring? And a lot of people are talking about late March and April. It just feels like, and I'm, not like a big event. I think you were saying something like this a while ago, like we're going to wake up one day and I do think there's going to be some level of that, but I think it's going to happen all at the same time. That would be my feeling. Like everybody wakes up and goes, wow, that was a trip. But, regardless of all the different experiences and mixed energies and different types of experiences individuals are having, there is a lot of continuity and a lot of convergence on the energetic description and experience that everyone's having. And the main thing for me there is, we're actually doing this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of connection, a lot of yeah. Well, actually, yeah, Christmas. I always love my my nose never runs. My nose ran, and I got so cold, so I was doing the opposite. I'm cold all the time. I get like shivering cold, and my nose started running with this energy. And the holy days were so beautiful. I love the holy days. They were so powerful and so incredible. And the holy days for me they start on Christmas Day, the 25th, and they go to like the 6th of January. They're not prior, and they're more of the older, holy days, and they're really significant. And I had, different people, contact me, and they were having a lot of intensity. A lot of intensity. Are you okay? Okay, you're speeding up there too. Are you okay? Okay, so I did that prior. That's when
I
I
know
said I had to go.
it's been,
I had to go.
it's been going on. I mean, okay, go ahead. Don't worry. We're good.
And so the energies now, so we're into that, you were saying that into January, and so much has happened, right? And already, right? And but what I feel like I've been waiting for this energy for a long time.
Mm.
I'm pretty connected with the celestial bodies and the energies that are coming in, and I can feel the full moons days prior. I can like sense the energies, and the energies that we're having are like I feel are so Blu-ray energy, right? And I feel like it's taken so long to experience this Blu-ray energy. And we've got that Jupiter, and Pisces, and that's going to be happening for the next now in the next like 5 months. So we're going to have that sensitivity. How are you doing, Todd?
I'm good.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. You're having sensitivity, and but I'm getting like we're going to have so the beings that are going to be that have been on the path, that have been on the path, we're going to get more realization. Okay, we're going to get stronger in our field. This is what I'm sensing, this is what I'm feeling, and so we're going to be on a certain trajectory, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're also, I feel, going to, and I especially the Blu-rays and the beings that have been a little that haven't found their voice are really going to find their voice. And I think all of us who have been on the path are going to start expanding and finding our voice, our expression, our essence way more enhanced, and also taking some more directions, some more creative directions. And absolutely, I feel and because I'm already experiencing this, and it's fabulous. Sometimes it's fabulous just to be able to experience those energies. And also what you were saying, Todd, was the collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, I don't think anything that I'm doing now, I have collaboration now, and I'm going to continue to have collaboration and come together with other people. I mean, there was a time before, I think more when you first met me, where I was a little bit more inward, doing my work, more solitary, didn't have as many connections. And now, and it's going on into the future of this year, is working with others and having that realization, that connection, because they have the other piece. And well, Tim and
Yeah.
I mean, wow. I mean,
What?
I've always done the music. I mean, the music and the frequency on my own, always, no one supported me. I mean, but here comes this, man, this wonderful man, this being, this soul who had like, oh my goddess, like these amazing qualities. Right. And so now there's this amazing support with the language of light, which is incredible. And it's incredible where Tim has supported it and been able to, take it so that it can maybe reach, more people. What was my prayers many years ago, 5-7 years ago, that was my prayers. Right.
Right.
And this year I'm going to be doing with Kalina. You connected me with Kalina, Todd. That beautiful Kalina, that, oh my God, is such a beautiful, incredible soul. And we're so connected in a lot of areas. And in the Rose Ray, we're also a Blu-ray connected too. She's going to be having many more events this year. And so I'm going to be working with her doing the Rose Ray events. I don't know if you knew that I was working with Kalina doing roses and 2 Rose Ray events this year.
Yeah,
So a lot of beautiful things.
Yeah, I saw your well, you remember what was going on when the Blackhawks came at Soulogy Fest. Remember, we were outside the tent, me, you, and Kalina, right? You don't remember?
Yes, I do. I did. Well, I didn't
moment.
Until you said it, because I remember they.
Yeah, well, I was talking and connecting with the two of you in that moment. There was other things going on. It wasn't just us, but I'm just saying.
Right.
But yeah, I was already aware of the connection or whatever had happened, like between y'all, because you also got up a couple of times and did something. But one time you got up and y'all were doing sacred song, harmonic light language, whatever you call that. y'all were doing it together. And I actually saw with my two eyes the sacred this geometry appear in color and in shape. And it wasn't really like on planet geometry. It was more like off planet geometry. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But as
Mm-hmm.
as your voices, which were different, and your type of light language
Mm-hmm.
dialect was different, but as they came together, like I remember there was one time she was doing something very unique, you were doing something that I was familiar with because I've listened to you so many times, and in that moment it was like they became one kind of thing. It was really weird, but I saw that, so I saw that connection like so many other ones. And that's a good example, what you were saying, because when I met you, I forced you to do a collaboration. I said, let's do a show together. Remember in that Airbnb when the rose ray came through the window? And then you're right. Ever since then, every time I get, like I'm aware, or, you're in my field, or I'm in Sedona or whatever, you're collaborating more and more and more. But I think we all are. That's the point too, because
Yes, all of
since
us.
since that time we collaborated, that was my first trip to Sedona. Um, every time we've gone back, there's been a bigger collaboration. Like when you got snowed out and you donated the community center, we had
Mm-hmm.
about uh, 60 people there. And then, of
Mm-hmm.
course, other events. And then, of course, Soulogy Fest, which there was, 100 people there. And I don't even know, I think a couple of hundred online. So, yeah, you're right. And that's another thing, too. And I'll give it back to you. But one of the other things that I've noticed in myself and I've accepted, and it's made my life so much easier, and I notice it in my interactions with Morgan. We talk about it sometimes, and I notice it with other people, that a lot of the stuff that we've been given and that we visualized or had visions of is it's not like, oh, you need to go, not that it isn't sometimes, but it's, oh, you need to go do this right now, you need to go make this happen, you need to go build this and create this and whatever. It's more of to me, like a message of the alignment. Like you talked about the trajectory, right? And I really feel like that a lot of those things, many of those things, and I can only speak for like what I know about myself and Morgan, and even like people like you that I'm aware of their work and I'm aware of what time they put into it and their stories. But I feel like it's actually happening now. Like these things are happening organically now. And I think some of what we thought was resistance or attachment wasn't. It was just our apprehension and our impatience from the human aspect. But now that the human aspect has kind of come into alignment with all the other things that came into alignment to get us to this point, it's becoming very natural. And I agree with you too, last thing, that the earth and the stars and et al is in sequence with us. Yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
I like that. In sequence with us. Yes. Wow. I feel sun, the sun is more powerful. Or no, I shouldn't say that. The sun is more powerful. I'm more awakened and open and sensory awareness. And it seems like other people are as well, to the sun, to the power of the sun.
Yes.
And it's only, I feel like there's certain things that are going to happen no matter what. Like there's a certain momentum that has been put into place, and it can't be denied. Who
Yes.
we are can't be denied. And the beings who are awakened in the star seeds, it can't be denied. It's all of us, I mean, are a divinity and a power, and our emotion that is shifting dynamics in consciousness, and it's happening. And it doesn't matter if it's on the mainstream news.
Right. It won't
It's
be.
it's happening, and it's powerful, and it's taking place, and it's shifting everything. I've never seen so many beings awakened in all my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And the exponential expansion of awakening that's happening continuously all the time. I'm surprised, Todd, that, and that's why I'm putting the Blu-ray Testament out, of the Blu-ray, how it has grown in all these years. I mean, back in 2008, I first put the Blu-ray information out. Are you from the Blu-ray Starseeds Walk into Lost Ray of the Lightworker, and all the characteristics and traits of the Lightworker and the mission? Because I got downloaded with that, and that I was one. I had no idea. I didn't know. Was there another person in the whole world like this
Right.
in 2008? And I put the information out, and I've continued to, put the information out since 2008 on the Blu-ray and the ascension, our ascension symptoms. And since that time, and I am blown away, Todd, at the amount of people who've connected to the Blu-ray information and
Yeah.
continuously connect to the Blu-ray information. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And it's been a wonderful connection too. I've connected with my bestest friends and amazing people by, by having that link that we could, connect into.
Yeah.
So it is. And as more of us become that, it becomes a stronger wave, and it becomes a stronger frequency. So it doesn't matter if you're, on camera or you're actually doing something, right? If you're, it's being seen, it's being felt, and it's powerful, who and what you are, because not all of us are supposed to be. We're supposed to be, some of us, some beings are pure souls. There's some pure souls that go in certain situations and occupations to bring that frequency, to radiate that frequency in a particular institution or,
Yeah.
or job description. And that's what they're, here to do.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and some people, and we'll just use you as an example, they are meant to be physically seen, so their transmissions have a physicality. Let's say at a conscious human aspect level, they might have a large bandwidth that people see from a conscious level. But there's also, like, and this is what you're saying, there's also people that from just the human perspective, you don't even know who they are. Like, I just did a post on a friend of mine, a brother of all of ours, who through his actions, or I should say, yeah, through his actions, his quietness, his privacy, his silence, his dignity, integrity, courage, love, wisdom, unspoken. I had a interaction with him the other day, and I walked away saying, it was a lot of things. And one is why I bring it up, is that there are people that no one even knows that are affecting this grid as much as anyone else.
yes.
And this, and we've had many women on this show that have been doing this for a long, long time, like yourself. who never came out. I see it in the comments. I get messages. People get it. It's not, oh, we're fans of, it's not like that. It's like you say, not you, but like this community's has been a lifesaver because I didn't know anybody else. Like you said, when you got the Blu-ray download, you didn't know if there was another one out there. You just were told, put it out. And that's how all the crazy people got to this place. So there's that part of it. Another thing that came out of that is I realized that it may have been the only time in my life, because, as you expand or come into a higher awareness, things don't have the same level of reference or value because you were limited in your, in your vision. But it may have been very well the first time that I was in the presence. And I'm not speaking so much about the person. I'm speaking about the soul coming through the person. That I had actually, I've been, obviously with Morgan, there's been, like the experience with Mother Mary last night. So there's been plenty of times in my life where before that feminine presence, that I've bowed. But in this experience with this brother, I was in the field of the highest level of divine masculine I've seen or experienced or that's been revealed to me. And I saw that and I was like, holy cow. Like, if this is happening now, because we know what she's done, and then now our other side is showing up, like this to me was a really powerful thing. And the thing that really struck me the most about it, where the power came from, was in his silence and in his, in his peace that came from this, what looks to be a very soft, almost passive kind of freak, but it's not. It's the true father. It's this that came from her, this equal that actually came from her, and somehow that the cosmos could explain, but we can't. But so and I've seen this since about November. I've seen some men coming on this show that were on that trajectory, right? That we're showing that this is a new road opened up or something. So, I was just bringing that up because of those people who, by human standards, are basically anonymous, and they don't even want to be in the spotlight, right? But their impact through these acts of integrity and dignity and nobility are blowing up the grid, man. The holy matrix, the divine holy matrix.
Yeah.
But and then also that just seeing, not just in that conversation with him, but over the last 3 or 4 months, some of it in myself, but really what I'm seeing is through my work, this rising or revealing of this other part of us, this other half of us, what we share, what we hold in ourselves. And that's kind of mind-blowing, because like you said earlier, I knew this was going to happen. You mentioned Ascension. We were talking about 2008, 2009 Blu-ray. Morgan basically educated me on the Ascension. I didn't know people were like getting this message, and that was 2015. But like you were saying, what you were kind of saying was like, look, I knew this was coming, and I know this is going to happen, but I just didn't know it was going to happen like this. Right? So I think that's where we're at now. It's like let go.
But it's always like that almost.
I know, that's what I was going to say. It's like the whole thing about, like let go and let it happen. And it's really it's really not even about, to me anymore, surrender, although there's obviously that's part of it, but I'm just saying, you know, vulnerability, although that's part of it. It's just straight transparency. It's just what it is. It's just total transparency. Uh,
Mm.
That's it. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Oh,
Now, the human experience and the human aspect is I don't want to say burdened, or let's say blessed with not having full memory, but knowing innately. And so we're in this weird, strange, wild, almost even frightening from a human aspect, uh,
yeah.
place where we know the only thing is the unknown, the holy darkness, the holy mother's womb, right? We know this, yet we're taking baby steps because, hey, it's kind of dark over there, and I got to give this up, and I got to give that up. You know what I mean? But it's you can also see the reverence that the universal would have for us because of the wide band of frequencies that we're containing and taking and bringing and merging into a new oneness, so a birthing. It's a new birthing, right? So it's pretty profound to be a human.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
it's coming in more, you know, every day. Like, wow. I mean, this is mind blowing.
I've always been, when my guides came in the early 90s, and the divine human, the divine angelic blueprint. They always, that's always been, oh, it's always kind of been there, but they stress that about our divine original blueprint. And over the years, it's always been there about our becoming angelic human. You may call it something different. And that's always been in my awareness, knowing that that's what's going to be happening. And I believe that it's a stronger unveiling now. And also now that I feel I know that, because that's who we really are.
Right.
You know, we're becoming revealed and awakened in who we are. And all of these things that are happening are helping us to become that and go down and that trajectory of that. That's what I feel. I mean, we're able, you know, I feel the other side a lot closer now. I don't know if others feel that, but like I feel the other side for some time. It's just closer. It's close. It's closer to me. The other
Mhm.
side. Um,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know what, you know, when you cross over, that side is so much closer to me.
Yeah.
And it's and it and it feels good. It doesn't feel scary. It feels like the way that it's supposed to be. But you know, there are different things that in my awareness that I have petitioned for, that I would like for things to happen upon this earth.
Yeah.
And I want heaven to be closer and the light to be closer to us. I want us to have a stronger access, you know, upon this planet. And things are happening, you know, things are happening so that we are becoming closer to that field, to that resonancy, to that realm. I mean, in that field and that resonancy is here on the
Mhm.
planet as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Uh,
it's, you know, it's interesting the state that we're in this human thing. And I mean, I'm going to say, I've always thought that I'm, and I don't know if I'm supposed to can say all this, but, biological warfare. I mean,
Mhm.
with all of this, happening, and this is what I feel, that's happening, with so much attack that is happening to our bodies. And, I feel probably more wonderful as in my human experience to be alive. It feels really good to be human, and to be in this human experience, and it's taken me a while though. It's taken me a long, long time to get to that point.
Yes.
To like not be at that place where, because the other side's close. For me, the other side is close. And maybe because I had so many near death experiences. But there were times, and I know we go through different things, and especially with being channel for the Blu-ray, and having such a community and connection to the Blu-ray star seeds, where you go through this phase of you want to leave and you want to go home, right? You're like,
It's more like a loop, right? It comes every now and
you
then.
get awakened. A lot of us are old souls too.
Yeah.
And I'm an old soul too. And you're like, I just want to go home. I want to feel that. you know, what I mean? And, but there's another place that you get to.
Mhm.
I've gotten to this other place where, because I know it's close, right?
Yeah.
The other side is close for me. The other side is close, and I can feel the other side with me, and it's good to participate in this human experience, because I can tune into my soul, because this is what my soul really wanted, right? My
Exactly.
soul wanted to be here at this time, at this space, and wanted to experience this, especially this big thing, right? Like I always wanted to experience the big thing, like in the 60s, because I always thought, I glamorized that, right? That was a cool time. That was a hard time.
Yeah.
In the 60s, we almost had World War, III. We had some serious issues with, rights, and it was tough. There was some extreme, times then. Well, I always wanted to be part of a time where it was very revolutionary. Like my soul
Right.
wanted to be like my human too, right? Like, oh, that would have been so cool. Well, I am in it. I feel that this is it. This is the big revolutionary time that is happening, and I get to participate.
That's
Wow.
right. It's a revolution.
It's
Relove solution.
it's a real,
Hey, you want
and
to
I like this. Yeah.
no, go ahead. You like what? You like what?
I like this time because when I looked back at the 60s, I looked and I went, I thought they got a little lost in some certain areas. I know certain people do, but I think that they kind of got, they abused drugs,
Mhm.
and a little too much, and also sexuality, this free sex.
Yeah, yeah.
And because I'm not, as a super sensitive empathic being, I do not see that at all. I see that you're putting your energy out.
Yeah.
You're just going out there and you're just messing your energy field with a ton of people, and then you got to take it on. It's,
Well,
so
it'd be pretty hard to find the sacred, the sanctity of it. I don't know. Maybe there's someone that could do that, but I don't. I'm with you on that, and I think too that there feels like there's a push, or there's a surge in creativity as we're getting into this 2022, which leads to
Yes.
collaboration, and we know that that's the sacred sexual energy that we all hold. That's the physicalization of our divine power. So I
Yeah.
think I think this is part of the organic. People are understanding that their body is a physical representation of that, that nothing, everything that they are, I mean, and so that's, imprinted with the soul signature. It's the essence. And so I think that's happening as well. And I think that might be one of the reasons that there's a greater prominence and prevalency of couples connecting, be it romantic or not, where they're sharing this divine love with a mirror of themselves to the best of their ability. And as a result of that, the frequency of what, we might call sacred sexuality, creativity, life force energy, the God seed, whatever you want to call it, is kind of like it's almost like, look at the distorted aspect that we are all familiar with personally, and if we looked at the collective, and look at the impact it had on our field. Now flip that around. What's going to happen as more and more people are coming into awareness, reverence, honor, love, respect of their own pure energy, and what they do with it in a constructive and creative and collaborative way? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like that saying, I think it's, what is it, Edgar Casey, one illuminated soul can neutralize a million imbalanced. So, take 8 billion or whatever, say a billion people with a distorted sexual expression, and then take 1,000 that are in the hierogamic or sacred union, but the frequency, and whatever form that takes, the impact that would have. And I think it's already happening. I know it's already happening. But, God, I can't believe that we've gone through 1 hour and 44 minutes right now. Hey, do you want to do something before we get out of here? I would stay, but we have another show in 16 minutes. God, I feel like there's so much to be said and whatever, but I guess we can look at doing something again. But is there anything you want to do? I mean, you tried that other microphone on. It was pretty incredible. If you want to do something, it's up to you.
I'd like to give it a transmission.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Do whatever you want. Yes, we'd love to do whatever you want.
I've been feeling it ever since we got
Good.
We got a powerful force. Powerful force, Todd. A powerful force with all of us that have connected. I thank you, and I'm grateful, and I thank all the divine beings that are here, and I thank all of the beings that are on the line and are holding the frequency and that are being the frequency and that are the frequency for us.
Yeah.
And making those sacred connections for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a hell of a visual through the whole thing, which I could spend like 2 hours talking about. But yeah, that was the way. That was perfect. That was the perfect. It's not a conclusion. It's a segue, right? Like doorway. Completing this part of the walk, right? I don't know. It was fascinating. It's great seeing you. I love you. Thank you for thank you for sharing this with us and being with us. And until I see you again in 2022, either online or in person or both, you take care. All right. Everybody take care. We'll be back.
Thank you, Todd.
Yeah.
Seeing you.
We'll be back in 8 minutes or a few
Absolutely.
minutes
Wonderful.
after. All right, Shekina. Best to you and Tim.